Good morning, everybody. On the bench this morning, and this is my day off. This is a holster for a friend. It belongs to a friend of mine, and he has two of these pistols, and he just picked this one up. I'm going to show you, and they're exactly the same. It fits in there perfect. Now, I have this for just a couple of days so I can get the holster made for him. Having somebody trust you with something that within a few dollars of being $800, brand spanking new, is very cool. That's a lot of trust just to drive over here and drop it off. Very cool. These have been around for years and years and years. This is a Ruger single 10 22 10 shot stainless steel, brand spanking new. It has the can't show you the serial number. It has the coolest sights on it I've ever seen on one. Now, very accurate, single action. Very, very, very nice everyday carry, we'll call it. No, it got this to shoot snakes with, so that's cool too. And we're going to see some of them this summer. But, all right, we don't need that right now. What I'm going to do, I've got this really, really thin leather here. I'm going to trace this out and make a pattern out of the leather instead of paper. I think it'll be easier. I'll get it roughed and then keep fine-tuning and fine-tuning. And he also bought the leather for, the real leather for it. Very expensive stuff, very nice leather. And we'll go from there. But I'm going to work on this today. And with any luck, I'll get it back to him soon. I've got a pile of stuff to do in here, y'all, and I'm working on it. Working on everything. Now, this holster, when I get done with the new one, I'm going to clean this one up real nice for him so he can put his other one back in here. But it does. See, I'll show you right quick the way it fits. Fits just like that. So, now I have made a few holsters. Not enough to say I'm a professional holster builder, but if I get in too much trouble, I do know one that I can call maybe for some advice. But there we go. Let's get started. All right, well, I'm going to start. I'm going to lay it here. Make a rough trace on the larger side. And always trim it off. We'll just leave that like it is for now. Now this little thin leather here, I ordered this I've had it for a year or so, from Tandy Leather. It's supposed to be an unblemished side of this thin stuff. When I got to the end of the roll, it had this huge hole in it. That's and I have made a couple of neck knife sheaths out of this. People don't seem to like it. I don't like it much myself. It's too thin. But for like a pattern for this, I think it will be perfect. Now the belt piece here, that's 3.5 inches. I already measured that. So we're just going to go up. Let's go about 4.5. Make sure we've got plenty of room. Like that. This piece will be what folds down. Okay, then I'm just going to take and turn it just like this. and do the same thing. Like I said, it's going to be big, and I'll have to trim it back, but I'd rather it be that way. Once I get it roughly sized, and I can keep trimming and trimming and trimming. Okay, cut this out. Now I'm not going to take you through each and every step because it'll take, video will be forever long, which I'm famous for. So, all right, take our trusty head knife and get it all cut out, and then we'll look at it again. All right, just about got my pattern cut here. Thing unfolded. Laid out, that goes around. Like that. There's the back piece there that will fold down. Now, that's close enough. Now, when we cut it out on the real leather, I'll make it a little bit bigger than this even. Now, just to make sure I've got plenty of room. First, I'm just going to cut out the general shape. And then we'll worry about the straps and the holes and all that in the end. But I think that's going to work. Now, let me clean off my work area and I'll get the good leather out and we'll take a look at that. Okay, let's take a look at this leather that we're going to use. Now, this is 8 to 9 ounce leather, much thinner than what I use on knife sheaths, although it would work fine for that too. Now, this was a pretty high dollar piece of leather. Now, my friend paid for it, and it was not what I ordered. I don't think it's not as big as what it was supposed to be. It said no blemishes whatsoever, but it does have a few. And the only way I've tried to contact this company, no answer. And the only thing I know to do is just, it's okay. I mean, it's fine. I can use it, but not order from this company again. So that's that. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and trace out my outline a little bit big. Now the top part here, this is 2 size. This will be okay. Back on our board here, I'm going to scratch a mark here. All the way down to here, we're okay. Like that. And the top part is okay. So down here, I'm going to go just a tad bigger. Just leave myself some room for adjusting. Let's see what I'm doing here. And off to the edges. A little bit bigger. I'm going to leave it a little bit long on the end down here. a little bit of a runny nose and a little bit of shivering because it's pretty cool out here still. It's supposed to warm up nicely today though, up into the 70s. And I've just assumed it would hurry up. There we go. Now, for now, we're done with our pattern, so we'll put it to the side. And just to make it easier to handle, go ahead and cut this off. I don't want to waste any of this. But there will be some waste, there always is. Can't save every scrap. Okay, I'll just roll this up and put it away and get it out of the way. Good old high-tech rubber bands here. I have a custom stamp being made. Should be, hope it's made today. And that'll be pretty cool for lots of things. Alright, put this away and we'll come back to this and start cutting on it. Alright, let's get the camera, you can see what I'm doing here. Alright, now here, this section here, got the hole punch. So that's going to be a rounded section right there. This is not the best set of hole punches there is, but this is the set I have, so we'll deal with it. And up here, just like I do on sheaths, knife sheaths. Just a minute, I'll show you what that's for. See, that one's sharper. Let's go ahead and do one here. And one over here. What that's for is so I don't have a overcut. Like that. Like that. Now, even though I traced it out a little bit bigger, I'm going to cut it a little bit proud of that line, just to make sure I've got plenty, because when you fold it, being this is thicker than the pattern, if that makes any sense, I was going to always trim it off. Now these pieces here, it said no blemishes. That's a blemish. That's a cut. That is even a blemish. But oh well, it's still good stuff. This piece here will probably make the straps. These here. If not, there's plenty of it. So. Maybe punch a hole, you want to start and go away from it. That way if you slip, you don't. Ask me how I learned that. So I'm a little bit sharper. I just honed this knife down yesterday. There we go. It looks like we're going to have plenty of room for smoothing and trimming and all that stuff. And that will fold down like that. Well, you can notice it's pretty big right now. Excuse me. Fold it over and check our fit. Okay, looks pretty good. I'll line it up here. And it's going to go like this. And a slight mark right there. That way I know where it's at. The maker's mark's going to go right here. I'm going to go ahead and do that now before I start cutting anything else. And I'll check here. It's still fairly early in the morning, so I'll check in a minute and see if my custom stamp's ready or not, and it's going to go right here. And I have to do that before any sewing together and all that happens. So. Okay, let's go ahead and put our mark in there. Maker's mark. See if we can see that. The best absolute way to do this would be take this holster apart and use it for a pattern instead of the way I had to do it. But that's not an option because this holster has to be used. So we have a slot here for the tie down strap. So we'll mark that. And it's bigger than this because it needs to move a little bit depending on where the pistol sits in there. So I got that marked. So it's going to come up something like this. And to cut that, I have a set of slot cutters. Let me get those. Hang on. I should have all my tools laid out, shouldn't I? Alright, these are slot cutters here. See, they cut a sort of a slot type hole instead of a round hole. And let's see, I think this one right here will work. Another one of those tools that you, unless you do a lot of this type of work, leather work, you don't use them a lot, but when you need them, that's what you need. Okay, just follow it right along. Now you could do this with the regular hole punches. I think it's just going to look a little bit better doing it with these. And once again, you get what you pay for. I've had these a while and hadn't used them much. They are junk. But maybe we'll get through this job with them. Clean that up just a little bit. Where did it go? Where did it go? Anyway, I'll find my razor knife and just clean that up a little bit. So we know these are no good. But, oh well. That'll work. Let's see, what's next? Now the actual holes for this snap, I'll, in here, we'll have to wait till we get the, get it fitted just a little bit better. All right, before I go any further, I want to check on my other stamp. Let me do that and we'll be back in a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and put on the wraparound strap. I'm waiting on the status of the stamp. The other one has 3 rivets in it. So I'm going to put 3 rivets in it. Actually, I'm going to use Chicago screws. Punch our holes here. Well, I'm not trying to punch through both sides at the same time. Very carefully, I'll start in the middle. Happens sometimes. All right. Instead of trying to punch it, we'll just mark it. How about that? I didn't get it over there. Now this particular holster, chances are it's not going to be worn on the belt very much, if at all. But if he ever wants to wear it on his belt, it's perfectly suited for that. That's what it's for. Yep, that's right. Make sure it's right for you. You cannot unpunch a hole. Alright, like that. Now the reason the rough side is up is when it folds down, this will go around and the finished side will be there. There, believe it or not, we're getting fairly close already. So let me it's not early for me at all. For my son that's making the stamp, it's early and it's a weekend. And I know how hard he works on his regular job and how stressful it is on him, and that's why I try not to bother him too much about making stuff like that. But he said it'd be ready today, so let me check. Shout out to Ricky Jr. I'll leave his link for his side company down below. Alright, it's warming up slowly but surely, but it's still cold out here, so excuse me for shaking. Alright, these Chicago screws that I use on this side here is very, very smooth, very flat. So I don't think it will scratch the pistol at all. And this material here is, I think it's like a bronze type stuff. So it shouldn't turn green and all like the brass and copper does. So we'll stick that in there. And this is the tie down strap. It actually holds it in place. Just like that. Now, this gel super glue, just like Loctite, works the same, just as good. So we're going to put just a little bitty drop like that. Be careful not to get it on anything else. Get the thread started good. Like that. Now, once that Once that super glue dries, it will not go anywhere. It'll stay right there. Just like that. Now the strap that goes around will go exactly the same way. All right, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. These bolted on. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and glue this up together like this. And I have a pretty good bit to trim off. So, but I don't want to do that until it's glued up like this. It won't look exactly like this. It'll be a little bit bigger, I think, but that'll be okay too, as long as it fits well. But I can't get my true size and get everything even until I get it glued together, fastened up. Making very good progress. The stamp will be ready here in just a couple hours. So there we go. Looking good. All right, glue is dry. I got it glued up to where I can get a better perspective of it. I have to re-glue it again, but a little bit big over here. I'm gonna take my pencil and just make a little bit of a rough cutout, and I'm still leaving a little bit big, being it's just as thicker when it's sewn together. It'll need that extra space for the stitching. Now I'm going to hand stitch this as always. Okay, I think just like that. Should do the trick, and I'll cut it just a little bit proud. Let's see, let's start up here. A little bit harder to cut since it's thick, you know, but that's okay. I can grind off what excess, I think. Smooth everything out. I might not have to re-glue it. Well, yeah, I will. I'll put a little bit of extra glue in there. Oops, see there? That's that overcut. But that's okay, we've got plenty of room. Grind that off smooth, it'll be okay. Let's go here. Take a little bit off right here. Let's see, we got plenty of room right here, so let's see if we can't cut that big piece out of there. There we go. Now we can grind it on in there. Alrighty. Let's glue it up again. This part here. Let it dry good, and then we'll attempt to fit the pistol in there and make sure it's going to fit like it should. Then we'll worry about forming it to the pistol itself. Let's see. That's a little too much right there, so let's take that off. There we go. Then we can mark our stitch holes and all that neat stuff. Alright, let's get the camera set up here. There we go. Alright, glue's dried. Now I'm going to put it on the grinder. This is the one I use for leather mainly. I'm going to shape this edge. May have to re-glue it again in spots, but that's okay too. Go ahead and shape this edge, get it down to where we want it, then we'll mark it and get it ready to sew up. I want to sew it before I put the pistol in there, just so it don't pull apart. But I think we're very, very close. And then I can go back and locate the snap for this and the snaps for this once all that's done. Alright, show you how I grind it a little bit. Watch your volume. It's a little bit loud, not too bad, but I think that looks pretty good. Now, let's go over here to the granite plate and trim the edges real good. Now we've got to take the Dremel tool and go in here and make that look a little nicer. But let's trim this up and get it marked. Alright, maybe you can see this. I don't have a lot of room on this table over here. Take my little edging tool. When you grind it, it leaves a big burr on there like that. You can see it coming off of there. And this will put a chamfer on the edge there. Like that. Turn it over. Like that, then we'll go up here. And after it's sewed, we'll come back to here. Okay, hang on, let's look at the original one more time. Okay, I've started cleaning this one up real. Got a lot of dirt and stuff on it, so it's sewed all the way up to here. And this little part's open, so we're going to sew it here. We may have to trim that off, but that'll be okay too. So we're going to start our, put this little divot right there. That's where we'll start the sew line. Right there. And this is going to be wider this way than the other one down here. I think that'll be just fine. Well, let's see. Well, let's go ahead. We might as well go ahead and mark it while I'm here. Grooving tool, edging tool. Let's see. Check our distance. That's about right. This way, like this. Now what this does is gives a good line for the stitching holes, and let the thread set down in there just a little bit. Just like that. Now, next step, start drilling the holes. That's going to take a little time because I got to be very, very careful and get them pretty tight. And once that's done, I can sew it all together. Then we can put the pistol in there and make sure before we start the forming process. Get it on there. Takes a lot more steps than a knife sheath. So, all right, be back in a minute. All right, got everything sewed up. Another Chicago screw goes in here just to make sure it doesn't come apart, and it'll look pretty cool too. Now let's do our test fit. Now the piece of tape is covering the serial number, which the owner asked me to do, and I understand. All right, fits there. This will go here. The snap go right in there somewhere. Let's see if we can get it. We can see a little bit better. Just like that. Now, how cool is that? I think that's going to work just perfect. Now I'm going to take my Dremel tool with a sanding belt, a little sanding drum, smooth this out just a little bit, make it look a little nicer. Put the screw in here. And before I put any finish on it, I'll wait for the stamp, custom stamp to come in, and that'll go right here. And honestly, I don't think we need any wet forming or anything. I think it's going to be fine just like that. Sometimes I amaze myself. No, just kidding. There we go. Let me get this in. And I'll go ahead and see, we can locate the now this will have snaps in here. This one will come here. Or snap on the tie down to go right there. Punch a hole there, then I'll transfer it here and trim that off. I like it. I'm liking it. All right, tie down strap is there. I got to trim this off. I'll trim that off right there. Looks very good. Now, before I do this part here, this needs to sit flat. So I need to put a crease in there. And we'll do that next. Then we'll take care of this and this. All right, dampen this down with a little bit of water. Do is get it lined up about like that. We'll put in the vise. I think that'll be okay. I'm gonna clamp it down like that, tight. Now, let it sit for a little while, 30-45 minutes, and it will form to that. Then we can come back and do this. Pretty cool, huh? There we go. Now edge that just like I did the edges. Well, looky here. Nice crease up here. And when I dye it and put the finish on there, that little stain there will go away. You won't notice that. Fits in there snug. Will not go anywhere. And compared to the other one, pretty much the same. A little bit bigger right here because this is a little bit thicker leather, but that'll be fine. And I don't think I need to do any wet forming to form it against all that. I think it'll be just fine just like that. Now, I still have to trim off the edges here. With the bevel tool, bevel that off. Clean that up a little bit. And the stamp will be ready. The stamp will go right here before I can dye it or do anything else that has to be done. What do y'all think? And my buddy Bruce, the professional holster maker, how'd I do? Did I do okay? Of course, it's not nearly as pretty as what you would have done, but I think it'll work. Now, the owner of this may stop by this afternoon and take a look at it. But I'm calling that a plus. I just noticed this snap and this snap is a little bit different color. Doggone it. But when everything else is on there, I think it'll be fine. I don't want to try to cut it off and redo it, or maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. All right, it is the next morning. A little chilly. We can't finish this up this morning. The special stamp is here. How about that? How about that? Got that one, and I've got a Bigfoot with a peace sign. And I have two smaller ones of the same thing. How cool is that? Now, this is what the man wanted. And these will be available for knife sheaths also. I mean, they'll last forever. This one's going to go right here. That's where Bigfoot's going to live. First, before I can stamp them, I'll use my press for these. I've got to cut some pieces of hardwood, pieces of oak or something, and glue to the back of here so I can press down with it. Just cut a little piece of wood and tack it with super glue and it'll hold it just fine. Alright, we'll do that. Then we'll get it, a couple of samples stamped. Then we'll stamp it. Finish the trimming, the burnishing. Then we'll put the dye on there. This is going to be ox blood colored dye. Alright, let's do us a little test here right quick. Got the same leather we've been working with. That dampened down with a little bit of water. There in the press. Give it some pressure. Take a few minutes and hold it. Alright, that didn't do so well. Let's try it again. Let me dampen a little bit better. Let that soak in a little bit. I didn't put a lot of pressure on it either, so. Let's try that again. And this time I'm going to hold it quite a bit longer, so we'll see it when it comes out. That's better. Pushed all the water out. I think when it dries, I think it'll look good. All right, let's try the little one of the little ones. May work better. Not as much area to keep pressure on. Oh yeah, the little one worked great. All right, this one's going to work too. Alrighty. Let's get the holster over here and get it going. We'll see it here in a little bit. How cool is that? There it is. All right, still damp. It's got to dry. And then the stain will take care of them little white spots. I even put a little one back here. Pretty cool. All right, now, still a bit damp while it's drying. I'm going to take the burnishing tool and the Dremel tool. Slick these edges real good. And then we'll get ready for dye. May try something new on this one, and may not. We'll see. All right, I got the edges dyed, blackened, as requested. This is oxblood dye. I did a sample piece on a scrap piece here. I want to send him a picture first before I do it. I might be a little too red or pinkish looking for what he was after. Not sure. But before I do it, the whole holster, let me do that. I got a box. I got a box. I got a box. Let's see what we got here. Now this is from my friend Mark up in Indiana. Sent me some of that very, very nice walnut a while back. Oh, would you look at that? There's some more very, very nice walnut. Now that is too pretty to cut up for knife handles. I've got another project in mind. Might work for that one. Maybe even that one. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, that way. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We will see that again shortly. One day. get all this work caught up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Here we go, all done. Sorry I couldn't show you the dyeing process. But battery in the camera died. Both my spares was dead. And I didn't have time to wait for them to charge back up. Because quite honestly, I've got a lot to do. I'm very busy. But, here we go. Ox blood. This is 2 coats. One coat is very, very red. Pink looking. And he requested the light thread, which turned pink. Maybe we should have used the black, but I think it looks okay. There's our specialty stamp right there. The other one there. Nice dark maroon color, blackened edges. I think it came out gorgeous. All right, last look. Let's put the pistol in here. Let's see. I'm gonna put it in like over here, so because I already uncovered the serial number. So right, there we go. I didn't want that tape to stick on there too long. There we go. Make sure I got it in the camera good. What do you think? I like it. I think he'll like it. If you don't like it, he can make his own. All right, there we go. Another project done. We got camera whopper issues here. All right. There it is. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you for your support. And I will see y'all next time. Now, one more thing. The old sheath for his other pistol, got it cleaned up. Basically, took some steel wool. It's had years and years, because this is very old. Years and years of dirt and whatever on it. Scraped it all off with a steel wool. Got it down to almost bare leather. I re-dipped it in the hot oil dip that I use for my sheaves. And I put some saddle soap on it real good. Because this one's really old. The leather's starting to crack a little bit, so I wanted to get it good and lubricated. And that's ready too. So now he's got 2 nice holsters, 2 nice pistols. Maybe he'll shoot something one day. I don't know. Maybe a cardboard box or something. All right, there we go. See y'all.